Hello and welcome. My name's Kathy A, and I thought I would do my Connecticut Neighbor Jen Phelps tag, and it's all about drugstore makeup, or affordable makeup as it seems. Some of you folks won't have access to some of this stuff unless you go on strange sites online or Amazon or somewhere else, but hopefully most of you do have access to this type of thing. I thought these questions were nice. I think every single year there's kind of a new tag created that is all about, you know, the best of, or only drugstore, or only high-end. And I thought, for a twist, I actually was thinking of doing this also next time with high-end makeup, and just kind of twist the questions around a little bit to indicate high-end makeup, and that might be interesting for you also. If you're still into makeup, I don't know. If you are, I just recently put up a video about dressing your truth, and if you are interested in seeing that, you better watch it soon, because they are in process of communications with me and they've asked me to take it down. So watch it while you can. I'm trying to negotiate with them now to keep it up, but I think I'm probably going to have to pull it down. So you know, I believe in that system. I really feel that it has changed me. I'm going to show you a before and after picture of me, just to show you and bring it home what has happened to me over the past 10 years. And this picture that was taken was at a wedding. It was, Bud and I were dating still. It was 2010, and we went to a wedding that summer. I think it was August. And I was wearing my spring colors from Color Me Beautiful, and I thought I looked great. I'm going to show you the difference between then and now. So obviously I'm sort of more on the cool side, on the golden side. I just look kind of frumpy, I think. You know, that's before I started my YouTube channel too and learned a lot of makeup techniques. But even still, I look older than I do now. Anyway. Okay, so this tag has 14 questions, and I actually added a 15th just for the heck of it, you know, and I know other people have done that as well. There are other videos doing this drugstore tag, and I just think it's fun. You know, it's fun to see stuff, since right now we're not buying a whole lot. We're kind of looking at our collections and saying, how can we, you know, shuffle this around so it makes it still interesting for you to watch and help distract you from what's going on outside in the real world. Okay, so question one is, if you could only use one drugstore affordable brand, what would it be? And this may surprise you, and it surprised me, because I started to look through all my stuff, and I started to look through new things that interested me, and I'll be darned, it's Maybelline. I want to show you all this stuff. I have like a ton, and I'm just going to show you some of my Maybelline stuff that I just tried. This is the Color Strike. It's a powdered eyeshadow cream to powder formula, and it's in a stick form. This is new from them, and the color I got is called Flare, and it's a matte shade, and you basically unscrew. So it's a really nice color. I have it around my eyes right now. And you put it back into its little pouch of powder stuff. But once you put it on, you can blend it a little bit, but it stays really well. And I like that. And there is a nice assortment of colors. This is something very new from them. You can use it to line, or you can use it as a powder shadow. And I do like it. I'm not usually a big fan of buying individual powders, but I do like this, and I think I'm going to be doing my faves and flops of July, so this will be probably mentioned in there at one point. Also too, the Falsies Lash Lift. You know, it's a fairly decent mascara, and they do have some fairly decent mascaras. And what I'm kind of show you here is that there's something in almost every category that I can use from this brand. These I have been using since I don't know when, since the 1980s, the 90s maybe, and they just tried and true have always worked for me. These are the Expert Wear eyebrow pencils, and this is the blonde shade. I mean, these are so cheap. I think it's like $5 for 2 of them. But you get that, you know, you can do the little teeny lines and everything. Yes, you do have to sharpen it, but you know what? It's just as good as any other brow pencil. And I remember when I first started doing YouTube videos, I was having trouble like investing any money in brow products because these just worked for me so fine. Of course, you sharpen them down to the nubby, and you know, you go and buy another package of them. But some of these other brow products and some of the high-end products, they start at like $19, and it's like, it's just your brows, and people aren't going to know if you have the Maybelline cheapy pencils on or if you have, like, you know, the Anastasia Beverly Hills. So that's one of those areas, and I think that's a question further on. Their eyeliners are so good. There's a waterproof one here that you can use if you're going to be out in the hot, humid sun. Absolutely beautiful. It's creamy. It lasts a long time. When it dries down, it is hard to get it off, so you do have to use the coconut oil or makeup remover to get it off. But I have the nice charcoal gray. Of course, you know, I am staying with my Dressing Your Truth Type 2 thing. There's also this nice kind of olivey green shade, which actually, it kind of is a little darker than you would think. It's more of a darker olive rather than this lighter olive, medium olive shade that it looks like on the jar here. And then the silver one, I just love this. This just does so much. You can use this as a shadow. You can blend it out on your eyes. I think it's just beautiful. Let me just see if I can do this. Just put some here in the corner. You know, just a little dab will do you there. Really good. So I think these are great, and I love the lavender one. The lavender one is just gorgeous. Now these, it doesn't seem to matter what formula you get from Maybelline. They all perform really well. So I don't know why they fell by the wayside, but I like them. I like Maybelline in general. As far as their makeup goes, the Dream Radiant Liquid foundation, it's not too bad. The color range is kind of weird for the lighter range because they tend to go dark and warm, and I prefer a little bit more of a cooler look. And then we have the Dream BB Fresh, which is very sheer on its own, has a great consistency. Your skin feels very soft when it's on, but it needs some pigmentation, so I usually have to add my drops to it. You know, either my Derma Blend drops or my No. 7 drops. I have to add a few to this just to pick up a little bit so I have some pigmentation. But I mean, these two are really nice for foundation type items. And then of course this is a classic, and this is the Erase Plus, which has the little sponge on the top. Some of us can remove the sponge and just press it down. Some of us don't like that little sponge on the end, but this is a classic. It goes on, if you sponge it on, tap it with your finger, put a little bit of light powder on there, and I'm telling you, it stays all day. This rivals a lot of the higher end concealers. I think it's much better than NARS Creamy Concealer. I think it's better. The shade range is very odd. If you go with the really fair one, it's almost white. I think it's number 95. You do not want that. You don't want to go too light with your concealer, even if you have dark spots. You need to do a color corrector on the dark spots and then use a shade that's just like maybe a half shade lighter than your foundation for under your eyes. You don't want a huge difference in color between your concealer and your foundation, or you're going to be sorry. You really are. And I've seen these girls do these giant things, and they make these big stripes look like football players, you know, doing that big stripe thing. You just need a little bit here, a little bit there. You tap it all in, and then you set it with just a touch of powder, and I use my finger to set the powder on it. But this is great, and I think my color is 120. Yeah, it's 120. So I think it's 95, 100, 110, and then 120. So this is fine for me. It looks great. I wouldn't go any lighter than the 110. If you were a medium light to a light skinned person, I wouldn't get that 95 unless I was alabaster skinned. It's just, don't do it. Don't do it. And you know, one of the things is the outside glass is deceiving. It looks darker here than it actually goes on to. So don't look at the jar as your indicator. Look at the colors, and it'll say like light or fair, whatever. Don't get the 95 though. That was my mistake. I did get the 95 and I was like, whoa, that's terrible. This is something new from Maybelline that I didn't like. This is the Cheek Heat. And I thought I was going to because I thought it was going to be like those Glossier cheek things. I don't want to go into my review here because I'm going to do this in my faves and fails, but let's see if I can. Alright, let's see if I can do this. Okay, so this is it. You can see it's blending out almost to nothing. So you really have to keep adding more and more to build it up, and I think it's a fail. So you know, even though they have the nice packaging and I think they're just running on the tail of the Glossier popularity, this is not a good item. So that was one of the few things with Maybelline I wasn't happy with. Now I'm loving this. This is the Flush Punch shade of their lipstick. This is a really pretty all-around neutral shade. It's a neutral nude, has a little bit of color to it, so your lips have a little bit of body to them, but it's not overpoweringly bright or loud. I love this. And these are new. I got two shades because I'm fascinated by them. They have hyaluronic acid in them, and they're called the Lifter Gloss from Maybelline. I have two shades. I have Petal and Ice. I have the two shades. This is Petal and this is Ice, and I'm wearing Ice right now over the top of a lipstick. Let me just show you the Ice shade. My only complaint about this packaging is that you have to push down really hard while you're turning or it pops up. It's very resistant. And now this is the Petal. Let me just put this right here. They're pretty far apart on the shade range thing, but the Petal you can put the Petal on blank lips and it'll look great. The Ice, not so much. The Ice goes nicely over other shades. And talk about the Oprah thing with Jen Loves Reviews. I think this Ice shade is just really pretty. There's a little bit of a sheen of color, but not a lot. There's one called Reef that I think I might get because that looks a little better. I might trade this in for a Reef. But the Petal in the Maybelline Lifter Gloss, which has hyaluronic acid, and you can feel it. It's nice. Your lips feel moist but not sticky. I hate that sticky feeling, and you don't get that really obnoxious smell that you can get with lip glosses. So they're new from Maybelline and they're working out pretty well. Question 2, what's the most underrated drugstore affordable brand? I'm going to say this because I never hear anybody talking about them, but I could just use these brushes and none others. I just love the Real Techniques brushes. I know it's not makeup, but it is makeup, because if you've got some good brushes and like this, you know, for like putting on your foundation, this Duo Fiber brush, or this one, if you turn it on the side, it looks like a number 7 in the Artiste brushes. I mean, these are just wonderful, and their eye brushes are good. This brush I use for blending in concealer or blending in, you know, shadows around my eyes to really sheer it out. I absolutely love it. They have all kinds of it, and their little brushes are wonderful. The little stubbies here, absolutely wonderful. So Real Techniques brushes, I have one for almost every situation. I just love them. I think they're wonderful and just so underrated. Nobody really talks about them, and they should. The other underrated product line, and it's probably just an American thing because we don't have as much exposure to it as you do over in Europe, is Essence. My favorite highlighter from the drugstore is from Essence. They have a lovely line of lipsticks. This is just beautiful, and this is number 3, and it's one of their velvet matte lipsticks. And their lipsticks are really nice. Now, they're not a whole lot of longevity to them. I like their new packaging. I think it's nice. It looks like those little cartoon characters. And some of their blushes are just indispensable. This is a very light shade blush, but it looks beautiful over the top of other blushes. And I don't know if I can show this, but it gives kind of a sheen to other blushes. It's kind of neat. And their own regular Love Me blushes are excellent as well. Also, their lip liners. I'm wearing their lip liner today. And something that just came out, I don't know how long they've had them, but their brushes, their eye brushes, the flat shader brush and then the angled eye brush, absolutely wonderful. They're wonderful. And a lot of their mascaras are popular. I'm not a huge fan of their princess lash stuff, and the reason is in the hot heat, because of the way I have an overhang here, when I blink up I get little dings, and I can't stand getting little dings under my lids, and I get that from the princess mascaras. But I do use this one from them. I coat over top of other mascaras with this, and it's their All Eyes on Me, and this is it's a waterproof mascara, and on its own it's okay. It's just kind of meh lashes, but what I do with it is I put it over the top of my non-waterproof mascara. Like, I'll get my lashes all nice with an Hourglass or something like that, then I'll put this over the top to kind of seal them in so that they don't bleed up in a hot humid thing. So I got the best of both worlds there, and these are so inexpensive. They're under like $5-6 at most. Really, really good. And also on my eyes today is one of their eye palettes, and I was just really surprised at the quality of this eyeshadow palette. This one is called Crystal Iced, and it's got, you know, neutrals here, and it's got some nice blues and greens. And as you know, I'm using blues and greens a lot now in my new type 2 existence. But it's really nice, and this was like, I don't know, $10 I think. So from Essence, some of their palettes are pretty good and worth checking out. Okay, number 3. What is the most overrated drugstore or affordable brand? I think a lot of people talk about Pixie as being like great stuff, and I found like their blushes don't last. I don't like their eyeshadow formulas or their color stories in there. I think they're way overpriced. The toner stuff doesn't work with me. The moisturizer didn't really help. I didn't like the eye primer. I didn't mind the skin tint that has the little nubby on the end where you conceal your blemishes and then you can turn the other side and you've got the tint that's like a tinted moisturizer kind of thing. That's not bad, but again, it's a little overpriced for a drugstore. But I do like from Pixie, I do like, and I do think it's worth, is the Silky Eye pencils. This is the Brassy one. It's actually a dupe for a MAC pencil, but I really love this. Yeah, this is called Copper Glow. I'm not sure if I can make it even more visible for you so you can see it, but it has a little bit of a sheen to it. Copper Glow. This is a really nice eye pencil. I love it. And what is your favorite drugstore product under $5? Okay, hands down, I use this all the time. I've been using it since it came out. It's the Wet n Wild Creme Brulee or Brulee. They discontinued Creme Brulee and came out with Brulee. They are slightly different. If you notice, one is slightly cooler. The Brulee is slightly cooler than the Creme Brulee. I think they are still selling the Creme Brulee in Europe, but you can see there is a difference here. And I hit pan. Yeah, one of them is cooler than the other. Now this is the newer one here with the black frame on it. That's the difference in the two. This is slightly warmer, this is more neutral. But they are very much the same. They make the perfect eye base for me. If you're medium light to light skinned person, you will love this. When I have an eyeshadow palette that doesn't have this kind of a color in it, I will use this. And I always have one around, and like I said, I hit pan on this one. So and they're only like $1.99. They're just amazing. Okay. So, what's a hidden gem from the drugstore that no one talks about? I've talked about this myself and I love it. I don't like a whole lot from this brand, but I do love this. And this is the Healthy Skin Anti-Aging Perfector. It is like a tinted moisturizer kind of thing. This is like a good foundation alternative. I love this. This is great. And the other thing I really love was, I think it's limited edition, maybe that's why nobody talked about it, but from CoverGirl. This was from their Queen collection, I believe it was limited edition. And I think this is called Girl. This is like a beautiful magenta pink, but it is very sheer, so it's very wearable. It's really beautiful. Let me put it on. Let me put it on. See, it's very wearable, very good. And I'm still staying within my color range here. I don't like too much else about CoverGirl. I do like their Cheekers blush, and I do like this very much, but CoverGirl hasn't been impressing me with a lot of their other releases lately. Okay, what's your drugstore favorite foundation? You know, I've got to say that this is the Pretty Fresh from ColourPop. Oh my gosh, this is a wonderful foundation. I bought this at the same time I bought the Pat McGrath foundation, and I love them both equally. But this one is only about $9, I think, and the Pat McGrath's about $68. So there's a huge difference, and this is wonderful. This is a ColourPop Pretty Fresh. This is the hydrating foundation. This is the newer one. The other one I didn't like that they released. So if you didn't like that other one, give this one a try. I think you'll be really happy. The color I have is 6.0. What products do you tend to buy more at the drugstore versus high-end? I think nail polishes, and I'm wearing this one right now. Essie nail polishes, I buy these over anything high-end, the Deborah Lipmans and all that stuff. I just don't think nail polishes are worth spending the money on. If you go to a salon and have your nails done, that's one thing. But if you're doing them at home, I love like Essie. And I have these colors. We have Skinny Dip, which is a beautiful light shade, very summery. The pink one is called Minimalistic. And then this gray one is called Go with the Flowy. Go with the Flowy. And this actually has some sparkles in it, but you don't see them when you put it on your nails. My nails just look great. I don't know. Anyway, I do like Essie nail polish, and that's one of those products I don't go high-end with at all. What's your favorite drugstore dupe? Okay, I have two. One of them is, this is Jordana's, this is a lip pencil, and it's in the shade Tawny. And what it is it's see if I can put it somewhere where you can actually see it. It is a dupe for Charlotte Tilbury's Pillow Talk lip liner. And Jordana it's like $3.99, $2.99. You can find these in Walgreens still, or you can go on the website. But Jordana, really, really nice. Now my other dupe is from Milani, and you can still find Milani in Walmart and some CVS's, some Walgreens will carry this. I noticed some of my CVS's don't carry Milani anymore. This is the Sun-Kissed Contour Bronzer, and this is an exact dupe for Marc Jacobs Tantastic. It blends the same, it looks the same on the skin, it's absolutely beautiful. I am wearing it today, and I think it gives a really nice natural glow. Makes you look like you've actually been outside in the sunshine. At 90 degrees here, Fahrenheit, it's really awful outside. So I kind of go straight from my door into my car with the AC on. I am not appreciating summer in any way, shape, or form. Plus with the mask, you get that extra added touch of sweating. What's the best drugstore eyeshadow formula? Oh gosh. You know, it used to be Wet n Wild, but I think they've changed their formula, and I'm not as impressed with their stuff as of late. Getting ahead of myself. I do like what e.l.f. has been doing. These teeny little bite-sized palettes they're called. This one's called Carnival Candy. The quality of these is really kind of outstanding. And I have these two palettes. I have Earth and Ocean, which has some beautiful, lovely greens and blues. And also this one is the New Classics, which is more of a neutral palette. So between these two, I have like a lot of really good choices for eyeshadows. And some of them are a little stronger pigmented than others. There is a little bit of fallout with some of them, but I really like them. I think e.l.f. has really stepped up their game. And the other eyeshadow formula that's been pretty good has been Milani. They keep canceling out all of their eyeshadow palettes I like. So this was one of their fairly newer ones from the Most Wanted series. This one is called Partners in Crime. And this is like a nice nudie kind of palette. The pigmentation is fine. I don't see that much of a difference between this and like Too Faced. I really don't. So I think the Milani and the e.l.f. is just, they're just nailing it. They really are. Okay, what's the worst drugstore eyeshadow formula? You know, I'm gonna have to give this award to Almay. I've tried their cream shadows and I've tried their powder shadows. Their cream shadows are only slightly better, but the longevity of these is not all that great. And it's really a shame because Almay is, you know, this is their, it's like a dark chocolate color. But the color range isn't all that great with these cream formulas. And you could do this as a one shade on your eye all the way up, but I don't know. Almay hasn't been hitting it for me. I like some of those lipsticks that have the pretty cases on them. I like those. And the cream shadow was okay, but yeah. I think they're probably the worst as far as powder shadow goes, and those powder shadow little trios they had and duos. I didn't get that at all. I didn't get that combination stuff at all. Okay. Drugstore brand you used to love but you're not crazy about anymore. There are two, I think, that come to mind, and one of them is Rimmel. Now they have like, I've always kept one of these, but usually I break the cover on it early on from owning it. The Stay Matte powder. I used that under my eyes today. It's a wonderful, very finely milled powder, and it should be in better packaging. I think this is their best product in Rimmel. This is the translucent shade, and it's just marvelous. And I like some of these eyeshadow palettes they have. The formula is okay. It's not the best and it's not the worst. The Spice palette was everybody's favorite, and you can't find that anywhere. I think that was limited edition. I did get this rainbow edition when it came out last year, and I dip into this all the time. I did dip into this for the pink around the edge of my eyeshadow, which is very subtle. You don't see it so much, but it's there. And some of their mascaras are fun. I'm wearing this today. This is the Lash Accelerator, and this is a great little mascara. I think when I reviewed it, it got one of my best of the years for drugstore mascaras. It might have gotten it like 2014-ish or something, whenever it came out. So that's the Lash Accelerator. And the Kate lipsticks, they're just marvelous. But the thing with the Kate lipsticks or any of the Rimmel lip products is that smell, that pung that comes from each of them. And I just think that's just, it ruins it. For me, it ruins the lip products, and I can't use their lip stuff. Even their like lip liner, like East End Snob is very famous. I can't use it. I can't stand that smell, and I don't want it near my mouth, you know, because you swallow that stuff. So if they would take the scent, the fragrance out of these, I think they'd be a lot better. And the other brand that, well, I have a little trouble with, and it's Wet n Wild. I used to love them. I used to promote any new thing they came out with. You know, this isn't bad. The I think it's called Sunset Strip or something like that. This is one of their bronzers, and it's really nice. It's actually really nice. And I did love these, this series that they did on the Hello Halo. These are the highlighters, and I thought this was just beautiful. And this was the Rose, I think, After Sex Glow. Anyway, yeah, I thought these are nice. They have some good products. I love the pigments. This is just wonderful. This came out at Halloween. It was in with the Halloween stuff. This is the pigment that has a shift to it. And, you know, some of their lipsticks are good for like a last minute, if you're somewhere and you forgot to bring your lipstick and you need to wear a lipstick. This is really nice. They have a scent to them too. The packaging slightly improved over what it used to be. Look at how they're imitating like somebody else there. But the eyeshadows, you know, Comfort Zone and all that used to be some of my favorites, but I think they've changed the formulation and they've repackaged everything, changed some of the shade colors as well. So I'm kind of disappointed in Wet n Wild, I think. Drugstore product you didn't expect to like, but totally wowed you. I think that has to go to the ColourPop Super Shock blushes. I've hit pan on this one. And this is Count Me In is the name of this. This Super Shock formulation for blush, it blends beautifully. It looks gorgeous on the skin. This blew me away because I always think of ColourPop as being something for teenagers. You know, the price points are really reasonable and the colors are usually a little bit, how do you say, a little wild for me, or I don't really care for the color story because I don't think I can use it. But the Super Shock blush from ColourPop, as well as their foundation, I mean, and also their foundation. I mean, ColourPop, it's just, I'm still like reeling from how much I love this foundation. It's pretty fresh. But the, you know, the Color Shock series, Super Shock series, this is a matte blush, but it just looks so beautiful on the skin. I love this. So, yeah, I like this, and I like some of their eye palettes also, but every time I go to get one, like Going Coconuts look like a perfect neutral palette. Everything's sold out when I go to get it, so I'm just a little slow on the draw there. And the favorite affordable eyeshadow palette right now, it's probably gonna have to be this Crystal Ice from Essence. I think that's just lovely. It's just a lovely palette. I can use a lot of these shades, and again, I have to pair my little Wet n Wild Brulee with this, but I can do everything else with this. I think it's lovely. You've got a really nice, you've got these two shades here that you can do your crease with, transition. You've got some really nice blues and greens and things that they just look wonderful to me. And for me and for my coloring, this is awesome. And I added in what is the best lipstick formula in the drugstore. Again, I have to say, it is Revlon. I think Revlon Lustrous, and then the Revlon, what are these called? The Shine. This one is Beaming Strawberry. The packaging was awful on these, but you've got this beautiful, balmy kind of lip stuff. I tried to take it off with nail polish remover. It just stained the case. So I love these Revlon lipsticks. This is Pink in the Afternoon, which they are still making. I guess they might have changed the packaging on it, but this is Pink in the Afternoon. And then this is Berry Smoothie. Got a little bit pinker thing there, a little more neutral. And then Softsilver Red, which is a very wearable red shade. It's more of a corally red. Absolutely beautiful. I love these lipsticks. And then this one, which is Beaming Strawberry, is one of those balm things that they came out with. These add just a perfect touch of color to your lips for something a little more subtle, daytime use. Get a lot of shine out of it. But I think Revlon just consistently blows it out of the water with their lipstick formulations. So that does it for me, and I hope that you've enjoyed it. I will link Jen Phelps' review video of the same tag, and a lot of people have done this tag, so look for it in the search bar. These are wonderful, this drugstore tag, and I think I am going to do it for high-end, and it should be fun doing it with some of my high-end products as well. I hope you all are having a wonderful week and have a beautiful day. Take care. Toodles!